That shiny black lab you see at the park might be carrying genes for yellow and chocolate coats. Labrador retrievers are officially recognized in 3 colors: black, yellow, and chocolate. However, the genetic story behind these colors is far more intricate than most people realize. The expression of these colors is controlled by several genes, primarily the B and E loci. Every Labrador inherits one gene from each parent at these locations, creating a combination that determines their final coat color. Let's start with the most dominant color, black. For a Labrador to be black, it must have at least one dominant B gene, which allows for the production of black pigment called eumelanin. It also needs at least one dominant E gene. The E gene acts like a switch. If the dominant E is present, the pigment determined by the B gene is expressed. So, a black lab can have a genetic makeup that is pure for black, or it can be a carrier of the chocolate gene. It can even carry the gene for yellow, but as long as the dominant E is there, its black coat will be visible. Next, we have the chocolate Labrador. This rich, brown color is a recessive trait. A chocolate lab must inherit 2 recessive B genes, one from each parent. This combination modifies the black pigment, diluting it to brown. Like the black lab, a chocolate lab must also have at least one dominant E gene to allow this brown pigment to be expressed in its coat. This is why 2 black Labradors can produce a litter with chocolate puppies, provided both parents carry the recessive B gene. It's a classic example of genetics at play, often surprising unsuspecting breeders and owners. Then there is the yellow Labrador. The genetics for yellow are unique because they operate on a different gene locus, the E locus. A yellow Labrador can have any combination at the B locus. It could be genetically black or chocolate. However, it must inherit 2 recessive E genes. This E combination acts as a masking gene, preventing the expression of black or chocolate pigment in the coat. Instead, the dog produces a yellow pigment called phenylalanine. This is why a yellow lab's nose and eye rims are typically black if it has a dominant B gene, or brown if it has 2 recessive B genes. The shade of yellow can vary dramatically, from a pale cream to a rich fox red, but genetically, they are all considered yellow. The fox red Labrador is not a separate color but a deep shade within the yellow spectrum. The intensity of the red hue is controlled by other modifying genes that are not yet fully understood. These genes influence the concentration of the red pigment, creating the striking dark amber coat that has grown in popularity. Despite their distinct appearance, fox red labs are registered as yellow. They are a testament to the wide variation possible within a single genetic color category. Another variation that sometimes appears is the silver Labrador. This color is a subject of considerable debate within the Labrador community. Silver labs have a diluted coat that appears grayish or silvery blue. This is caused by a dilution gene, known as the D locus. A dog with 2 recessive D genes will have its base color diluted. A black lab with the dilution gene becomes a charcoal lab. A chocolate lab becomes silver, and a yellow lab becomes champagne. While visually distinct, major kennel clubs do not recognize these diluted shades as standard colors for the breed. The controversy stems from questions about the origin of the dilution gene within the purebred Labrador lineage, with some purists suggesting it was introduced through crossbreeding. Regardless of the debate, these dogs are genetically Labradors, but their color places them outside the official breed standard. It is important to understand that a Labrador's coat color has no scientifically proven link to its temperament, health, or trainability. Myths persist, such as the idea that chocolate labs are more hyperactive or that black labs are better hunters. These are simply stereotypes. A well-bred Labrador of any color, from a reputable breeder who prioritizes health and temperament, will exhibit the classic friendly, outgoing, and eager-to-please nature that the breed is known for. The variation in personality seen among individual dogs is far greater than any perceived difference between the colors. Coat color genetics can also influence a dog's physical features beyond just the fur. For example, as we mentioned with yellow labs, the B gene still determines the pigment of the nose, paw pads, and eye rims. A yellow lab with the genetic makeup for black will have black points, while a yellow lab with the genetic makeup for chocolate will have brown or liver-colored points. In chocolate labs, the nose and eye rims will always be brown, as they lack the gene for black pigment altogether. These subtle details are important indicators for breeders tracking the genetic potential within their lines. The genetics are a fascinating puzzle. For instance, 2 yellow Labradors can never produce black or chocolate puppies. Since both parents must have the E genotype to be yellow, they can only pass on the E gene to their offspring. This means all puppies will also have the E genotype and will, therefore, be yellow. They can, however, produce different nose colors in their puppies depending on the B genes they carry and pass on. Similarly, to chocolate labs can produce yellow puppies if both parents carry the recessive E gene. But they can never produce a black puppy, as neither parent has the dominant B gene to pass on. Understanding these basics of coat color genetics is not just for breeders. It helps owners appreciate the rich heritage of their dogs and dispels common myths. The beauty of the Labrador Retriever lies not in a specific color, but in its consistent and loving disposition, whether black, chocolate, or any shade of yellow. The dog's true quality is defined by its character, health, and the bond it shares with its family. The diversity of colors simply adds another layer of appreciation for this remarkable and versatile breed.